there, Code Monkeys, and welcome back to Superhero Month. Some of you may recall a while back that I did a collaborative books versus movies review of Watchmen with my friend Matt Guyan. Well, it actually wasn't Matt and myself doing it, it was Matt's evil twin and a clone of Matt's evil twin and Entropy and someone who they all thought was me but was actually the anomaly in disguise. So, yeah. But the anomaly actually seems to know quite a bit about who I am and what my opinions on things are, which is somewhat worrisome. Where was I going with this? The point is, Watchmen is awesome. It's one of the greatest graphic novels ever written, arguably the greatest. And a while back, I heard that DC Comics was going to be publishing a series of prequel stories to Watchmen, and Alan Moore was not going to be involved in any way. I was concerned. The series is called Before Watchmen, and it's told from a bunch of different people's perspectives. They just started releasing it. There's going to be a new issue coming out every week. I'm going to be getting them all, or I'm going to be getting them all as long as I still think it's worth my money. So I just got the first one, which, as you can see, focuses on the Minutemen, and this issue is told from the perspective of the original Night Owl. Now, there are some obvious reservations that I have going into this thing, but I'm kind of a realist, so I'll just say that I wasn't really going into this thing expecting it to be as amazing as the original Watchmen. That would have been kind of unrealistic. But if it was just basically a series of elaborate and really well-told fan-fiction pieces, I'd be fine with it. So first things first, does this look like Watchmen? Well, no. The art style of this first issue is basically the same as the cover. It's got this sort of cartoony, almost comic strip-like look to it, and yeah, I'm not really a fan of the art style in this. I don't think it's necessarily a bad art style, but I don't think it fits the tone that this story is going for. My main complaint really is that the artist seems to have some problems with perspective. Let me see if I can find a good example here. Okay, here we go. You see this panel right here of the comedian in his original costume pointing this bat down. There's just something about it that looks kind of off. The foreshortening in this artist's perspective isn't terribly accurate, and I get that it's supposed to be exaggerated, but I just find it kind of distracting. Personal taste, I suppose. So yeah, it doesn't really look like Watchmen, and I don't think that the art style fits the tone particularly appropriately. But if I'm not mistaken, each issue is drawn by a different person, so from issue to issue the art style will change, and I'm sure I will like some of the others better. So the next question is it as well written as Watchmen? Well, kind of hard to say at this point. As I said previously, this is the first issue in an ongoing series, so it's kind of hard for me to judge the writing until I've had a chance to kind of step back and look at the whole picture. I wouldn't say it seems like anything special at this point, but I'm going to reserve judgment until later. But the most important thing to me is not whether it is as well written as Watchmen or whether it looks like Watchmen, it's whether it feels like Watchmen. And it really doesn't. I'm really not trying to be a party pooper here, guys, but this just does not feel like a Watchmen story. One of the most amazing things about Watchmen was its incredibly unique use of composition. A big part of what made Watchmen so great is the story that was being told, yes, but it was also the way in which that story was told. And the composition of this comic book, it's not bad, but it's just not anything special. The panels are drawn well and they're arranged pretty well too, but it's just nothing all that unique. And I have to mention this, at the end of the first issue, I can't believe they did this. They put the first 2 pages of a story called The Curse of the Crimson Corsair. Yeah, they're putting a parallel pirate story in this thing. I'm not quite sure why I find this so amusing, but I do. It's almost like they're dangling the pirate story in front of us and saying, see, look, we're like Watchmen! So anyway, I'm not terribly enthusiastic about reading the rest of these. As I said, it's not really bad, but it's just kind of And that's all I have for the first issue of Before Watchmen. Come back later and I'll keep you posted. But until next time, Code Monkeys, I'll see you later.